like, yep, we are live. Welcome everyone to the round of 32. We have Chifa the Perro versus ETN. Two teams are very closely seated to each other. We have Chifa at rank 11, ETN ranked 22, about an 11 rank gap, but both these teams are very strong in their mod set, so I think it'll be a very close game. What do you think, Teddy?
I have to agree with you. With it being one of these lower teams versus a mid team, it's definitely going to be more interesting than some of these other matches we've seen just being sweeps. So hopefully we can see our first tiebreaker.
Yeah, and we see, looking through their qualifier results here, ETN, they got 5th on both Hard Rock, which is very impressive, considering you needed skill set for each one. And Chifa didn't do too bad on the Hard Rock either. I think they ended up top 10. Then they really killed it in DT, number 7 and both scores in the top. So it'll be very interesting to see what the kind of bands we see coming out both.
Very interesting.
And this is probably one of the most anticipated matches in the latter half of today's streaming that we will see. Who do you think is going to take it, Teddy?
I'm gonna have to go with a rare choice, but ETN, the lower seeded team. I feel like if they really pull themselves together, they can take this match.
Yeah, I'd love for ETN to win this one, but I just gotta go with Chifa. You know, I feel like their skill set is a bit more varied, and while that might not show itself too strongly in these beginning rounds, I feel like towards the end they will become a very strong team and one that other teams are gonna have to look out for, even though they're not in the top 10.
I have to agree.
Guy got asking what the seeds are. We have Chifa de Perro at seed 11, and then we have ETN at seed 22. Oh, even though these guys are seeded very far apart, only about 100,000 points separate them. So it could go either way. Cannot sleep on either of these teams. We get into our first warm-up here. We get an early break coming out from Claire.
A higher star rated map.
That is true. Could be a scare tactic.
Player definitely having trouble on this higher rated map.
There seems to find rhythm though, but then immediately breaks the second I bring that up. It looks like Ashley gets a break there as well. And there goes Nev as well.
Eager and only one important combo.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder with a pick like this, not too far outside of what we might see at Grand Finals, if these teams are struggling a bit here, you know, it might bring their hopes down if either team is able to make it far enough in the tournament. And we start seeing those higher level star maps coming in.
6 for the grand finals, yeah. far off. You gotta wonder how teams like ETN are gonna take it if they make it there.
Yeah, but ETN could also just be looking to spice the bracket up a bit, you know. Take one of those highly anticipated teams to the losers bracket and make them work a bit harder to get where they feel they should be. Which is what I find so interesting about these early matches, is it really levels the playing field. You know, you can't really take any team you play for granted, even if you are the number one.
Yeah, you really gotta put in the practice with the lower star rating. Some of those lower seeds might be able to just take some maps from under your noses.
Up, and we see ETN fail out of the warm-up. That is
Gotta love
not going to be a
laser.
big confidence boost for them.
Gotta love laser. It looks like Chifa the Perro taking that warm up.
Gygod's already getting his ban predictions in. Hard Rock 1 and Nomads. I would be very surprised to see either of these teams ban Hard Rock. Both teams did not the best, but pretty strong in Hard Rock. And I think Chifa did a lot better in Hard Rock than they did in...
Chifa did 4th in the first map and 12th, in the second map, with ETN holding up consistent 5th.
Yeah, so I'd be very surprised if we see some Hard Rock bans. I think it's more likely we'll see some DT bans from ETN.
Yep, ETN.
Try and go specifically after Chifa's second strong suit. But I feel like the big fight's going to be in Hard Rock.
Probably going to be a no mod ban from them, as they did pretty consistently across all of the mods.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to come down to who can win the Hard Rock.
Yeah, neither of those get picked, and that's going to be two fierce battles right there.
I don't have stats books. Can't talk. Can't accurately do it. Gotta say though, for the round of 32, it's very special to see two Hard Rock teams coming at each other in the first round. It makes you wonder.
Very interesting.
And we have everybody's favorite warm-up, Raise My Sword.
I think Among Us Trap would mix over this at this point. At least it would be something different.
And it looks like we actually have the stream version over the burst version this time. An interesting pick coming out from Claire. It is a higher star rating, as they did fail the 5-star map that Chifa put on. Maybe this is their counter pick to show them, yeah, we didn't know that map, but when it comes to 5-star maps, we're just as capable as you guys.
Well, if that's their goal, it doesn't look like they're accomplishing it too well so far.
Yeah, they are losing right now, but Claire does have a decently strong combo, starting to pull that lead back. Even though this is warm-ups though, it is really big if you're able to win both warm-up picks. Adds a little bit of pressure to the opposing team.
It's got to boost up your confidence quite a bit if you win the opponent's warm-up pick.
Yeah, exactly. As Claire finds a break there, using Higger with the only remaining combo, and he breaks as well. Now combo advantage goes back to ETN, but Claire finds another break. And we just have Break City going on as we enter the halfway point. And everybody will find a break.
Both teams are losing a lot of accuracy.
Yeah, this is not one of those picks that looks like either team is very comfortable with. Looks like they focused more on just getting your hands warm than putting on a show here.
But the lead did go back to ETN.
Yeah, ETN holding on to a very small lead though, only 20,000, but in these warm-ups, 20,000 is pretty much the same as a 200,000 lead during the match pool. So it'll be interesting to see if they can bring it back. And Claire going on another rampage here.
Claire definitely the most comfortable with this now.
And Claire signaling that maybe picking Nomad 2 against them won't be the smartest idea. And Chief might just ban that one instead, trying to take the battle there. But it is a lower star difficulty, so you never know. And it looks like
Velocity with the epic full screen spin. Lowest miscount gonna be 42 coming in from Claire.
a very strong showing on not the easiest warm-up map. Now as we get into bans here, what do you thinking each team's gonna ban?
I feel DT1's going to be banned by ETN most definitely, but the more interesting one is going to be from Chifa the Perro, as it's probably going to be either Nomad 2 or Nomad 3.
Yeah, those are both very finger controlling maps, and if Chifa feels like ETN's going to be a big enough threat there, they will do everything in their power to take that away from them, but I'm gonna go, I think Nomad 2 and DT1. Hard Rock 2! Wow!
Very interesting. Looks like they don't want to leave it up to chance.
It'll be interesting if they respond with a Hard Rock 1 ban, taking out both teams' strong suit.
I believe in this tournament you can only ban one from each category except for Nomad.
That's interesting then. So leaving the harder of the Hard Rocks then, and Hidden 1.
Very interesting bans. Coming in from both sides, you'd expect a DT ban due to how poorly ETN did in there, but a Hard Rock ban when you have two Hard Rock teams, that's a very big surprise.
And it looks like Chifa's trying to avoid fighting them in their strong suit and just winning in everything else, it looks like. They don't want to give them any free points if they're not playing at their absolute best, so
Does make sense. While both teams are strong, now that I'm looking back at the stats, it really does make more sense with Chifa de Perro doing just a little bit worse than ETN in the Hard Rock category. Especially on that Hard Rock 2 pick in the qualifiers with the small circle size, over a 200,000, or sorry, just under a 200,000 point difference. Behind
yeah, exactly. And I just think they aren't feeling like they can make up that 200,000 combo on their own, especially with the lower star pool. So ETN could very well just pull out a double FC on that. And if they do that, then Chifa's gonna have to step up and impress, and I feel like they weren't feeling that. So we see DT2 coming in for our first pick here. We have seen a lot of DT picks coming out, especially at the very beginning.
Not only is it a DT pick, but it's a DT pick coming straight out of ETN.
Very interesting, attacking their weakness at the beginning. We could be trying to get all the hard maps off the table first, but it is only best of 7, so you don't have many picks that you have available at your disposal. Only 3 picks, and then we go to tiebreaker, so
Maybe they just choked during the qualifiers and DT's actually one of their strong suits.
that could be. We have seen a lot of teams perform exponentially better in the round of 32 than in their qualifiers.
Could be the lower star rating coming into play.
Yeah, but DT2 has a lot of triplet bursts though, which I feel is right up Clear's alley, so they might actually be trying to compete in this pick instead of clearing out what they're not good at, but only time will tell as we wait for both teams to get ready.
What are your predictions for the score line coming into this match?
I'm gonna go a little frisky with this one. I think we go to tiebreaker and Chifa just wins in tiebreaker.
Okay. I like where your head's at, but I feel that ETN's not going to let it get there. They're going to close it out 4-2.
Oh, interesting. So you're going for the biggest upset we've seen of this tournament so far.
Never know with some of these teams. They can
Yep.
be scarier than their qualifier results show.
And as we get to the start, Nevi with brilliant accuracy holding a perfect SS through the start. He drops a little bit there, but accuracy advantage. Oh, and he drops a lot. This is not what they want to see. His accuracy advantage actually goes to Chifa.
How short this song is and how easy it is compared to some of the other songs. It's going to be first break, and that might spell the entire match.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come down to break, it will be the accuracy that will be the deciding factor. And right now, it looks like ETN is slowly building up their accuracy to compete with Ash, but Ash is just one man carrying right now, building a gap that might be too big. Ooh, but he loses a bit there, bringing it back in touch for ETN.
Still too close to call so far.
Exactly. As we approach the halfway point, both teams fighting tooth and nail though. Unfortunately, Nev looks like he's going to drop below 90%, which will give accuracy advantage to the red team as they will pull away here. And red team's got to break soon here. Blue team wants to get back in this one.
Yeah, if they don't break, they're going to have to hope for a real big act drop from Asahi.
Even with the act drop though, he has over 100,000 advantage on the players of the blue team, so I don't think an act drop will be enough to get him back in this one. I think they're going to have to hope for a break, but it does not look like that's going to come their way as we come to the end of this map here.
It's looking like a break point from Chifa to Perro for the first map.
Oh, and Ash breaks at the very end! Oh, but that's not enough time.
Just at the very end. Just 20 more seconds and that would have been ETN's map.
And that accuracy proving to be the difference maker. If his accuracy is, I'd say, 5% lower even, and he breaks there, I think ETA has enough time to come back and snatch that one.
Definitely.
And in our first map, we are already seeing the importance of accuracy in V2. When two teams this closely ranked go head to head, the accuracy is the difference maker between a win and a loss. ETN though putting up a very strong fight as we had triple FCs coming and one FC choke for Chifa. Unfortunately, that FC choke was too strong for ETN to be able to overcome. And we have Hidden 2 coming up next.
A decently safe pick coming in from Chifa de Perro.
Yeah, not quite going to where ETN is strong. And after that showing on DT, I would be very hesitant to pick DT1 against them. So Hidden was the only logical answer.
Perhaps saving that Hard Rock 1 for later in the match.
Yeah, Chifa might just avoid Hard Rock 1 though, unless they get to a big enough lead and they might want to test their skills, see if they can hold up against one of the best DT teams in this tournament. Sorry, correction, Hard Rock teams.
Getting into this match, it's looking like this probably should be Chifa de Perro's pick unless they choke, with ETN putting up bottom of the barrel scores on both hiddens in the qualifiers.
Yeah, and ETN, let's hope they can just chalk that up to nerves for qualifiers, but this being one of the easiest maps in the map pool, they gotta pray that they can put up a good fight on this one before Chifa gets in a good groove here. Ooh, and terrible accuracy from Higger coming out of the gate. ETN able to hold stronger accuracy at the beginning. Ash is going to immediately respond back.
Early. 50s and 100s all around.
Ooh, and Nevs finds the first break. Not what ETN is hoping for. Looks like Chifa was just a little bit more confident with this pick. Not showing. Ooh, and Higger goes down too. And it looks like somewhere in the mix we had another break on ETN's side, giving Asha the only combo.
Yep. But combos are gonna slowly start building back up for ETN.
Ooh. And we have another combo reset for ETN. It looks like Hidden was their weak spot. Chifa the Perro nailed it on the coffin. Now they just gotta keep their nerves down and cruise should be their second win.
Looking like one of Asahi's strong suits here. Incredible accuracy, while still holding the full combo as we reach the halfway point of the song.
Asai showing very good accuracy. Ooh, and Higger finds a break there. And now ETN building up very supporting combos for each other. Ash finds a break any point. The net. Ooh, and as I said that, Nev's, Claire, and Higger go down. And I think that'll do it, honestly.
Yeah, there's not enough time to build up a good enough combo to gain 200,000 points.
Asha going to steamroll his team to their second win, able to hold their own pick. Ooh, and he goes down there, but there's no combo on ETN's side to rally behind.
And if you're ETN, what do you go into picking here when you lose your DT pick and you lose the hidden pick from the opponents?
Well, losing your DT pick, that wasn't that much of a loss. You just lost an accuracy there. And if you can get Chifa to slip up even once, you take that. So But at the same time, you have a full Nomad pool, and Claire looked pretty strong on the stream map, so I think we see a Nomad 2 coming up after try and rally and they can sneak some points.
Definitely seems like the safest choice, and that might be the play here, going down 2-0.
Chifa, even though they win, not quite able to get over 1,000,000. And while they did win the pick, you gotta think if ETN was a bit more confident on that pick, very easily could have gone to them. But kind of getting away with a little bit of a scary pick.
And no hesitation coming in from Claire. Hard Rock won, so we are going to see that Hard Rock.
Now this is the battle everyone's been looking for. Hard Rock versus Hard Rock. Both teams in the top 10 on the Hard Rock. It'll be interesting to see if Chifa is able to steal one away from the stronger Hard Rock, or if ETN is able to get away with a pretty easy pick for them, I would imagine. It's interesting that Chifa banned Hard Rock 2 and not Hard Rock 1. You'd think they'd want to ban the harder Hard Rock and try to put up a fight on the easier one, but
Based
what do
on
you
the
think?
qualifier results, they look more comfortable on AR10 versus the smaller circle size.
It is true. Could be a thing where Chifa's not that strong early game, so they're trying to get rid of the maps that pose the most threat in order to hopefully get into the next round against bad time.
You gotta wonder what bad time zones are thinking of watching this match, thinking of what they have to pick and ban against this team.
Yeah, I'm sure Chifa knows that their enemies are watching very closely, and sure they're trying to put on the best performance they can, try and scare them away from that they aren't as comfortable with, but bad time zones looked very strong in their round of 32.
Cruising to a very nice victory of 4-0.
And Chifa's gonna hope to at least copy the 4-0, if not do it in higher style, hopefully, but they're come up against their biggest obstacle yet, Hard Rock 1, against some of the best Hard Rock players in this tournament. Let's hope they can pull this one away from them.
Honestly, missing that first note.
And out the gate, Chifa not doing the best on the accuracy side. Accuracy advantage actually on ETN for the first time. Hager finding another pick, and Ash as well. So ETN showing why they got top 5 in both Hard Rock. It looks like they are actually cruising through this. And Chifa, yeah, Chifa really struggling on this Hard Rock. Seems that the qualifiers might not have been an accurate representation of how they are in a Hard Rock.
Claire finds it great, but both members of Chifa Perro are struggling with accuracy and combo. It's not going to do too much for them unless they can get Nevi to find a break right here.
Yeah, and Chifa just barely now getting over 100,000 team score. Nev and Heger break, so it's a 1v1 between Claire and Ash.
But
And
Blue
actually,
taking
Blue
the
takes the
advantage.
lead. Well, that is
Heger
very
again
interesting.
finding
Ooh,
strength.
Heger breaks again, and Nev breaks. We come into the quarter of the song. It is a 1v1 between Ash and Claire. If either player breaks, it will immediately go to the other team. Ooh, and Heger breaks. That is not what they want. Ashley needs the supporting combo to pull this lead back.
Either need that supporting combo or you
Is
have to
Claire
hold
able to hold on?
We're on the final section of the map, and both
And
FCs still holding strong.
And
So
it
are the
looks like
supporting
Claire able to hold on to the very end as ETN gets a break point on probably the most important map so far that we have seen.
Now we're going into the no mods where neither team is really strong.
And both teams have one break point against each other. And if you're ETN, I feel like we're looking at no mod 2 and we're telling Claire to get to work on it because I feel like that would be a very strong pick for them. But at the same time, if Chifa is expecting this, they could have practiced that map a lot and they could be just as strong.
If I'm ETN, I'd go with no mod 1. It's more of a consistency map, and they did decently well on the qualifier consistency.
Yeah, and if we look at the consistency songs, DT2, ETN and both Chifa did very strong on that one. So I feel like No Mod 1 will be a good show if they pick it.
And it does look like a no mod 1 is coming into play.
It does indeed. This song is going to be a bloodbath. There's no way to hide it. Both teams need this win very badly. Chifa, after losing their own pick, are looking to respond, and ETN is looking to get the biggest upset of this tournament. Both teams on their very last pick. I'm surprised to see ETN didn't pick No Mod 2 though. I feel like they would have been more comfortable, but maybe their second player wasn't as comfortable on No Mod 2 as he is on No Mod 1.
And we see the first substitution with Asahi getting subbed out for Bubbles.
And we see Bubbles. Very interesting that Bubbles has not played any of the 4 songs before this. You think that's because he's not as good as at Hard Rock, EP, and Hidden? Or do you think they were saving him for clutch time?
It could be either one of those, because those maps with mods can take it out of your fingers, but it's also possible with this rank range that he's just a no mod player.
And ETN here, not having any subs. Are we going to see the mods start to play an effect on them? Or will they buckle down and be able to hold their pick for the first match point? You see Bubbles coming in, not the accuracy you would expect from a sub-in, but it is still early days as he's quickly able to climb it back up to 90%. You see Nebs with a 97 though, very confident with this pick here.
Seems like consistency is key when it comes to Nev.
Yeah, Nev's just falling away just a little bit on the accuracy department, but Claire able to get a good supporting, but it looks like accuracy advantage will go to red team here.
But not by much.
Very close margins here.
A little bit of act drop from either team can spell disaster for them.
And we see a bit more act drop from Nev there. It's not what he's hoping to do though. As we see both players on the red creeping into the 94%. ETN still struggling to get out of 93.
hope to climb their combo back or their accuracy back up. Sorry.
And it looks like they're not hitting the end of some sliders, which might be giving a slight advantage to Chifa with combo. Across the halfway point.
On the first single tap card, but a lot of accuracy drop. And Higure and Claire both
and Higure and Claire both go down. Now we have accuracy advantage to Bubbles against Nev, who started out looking like the strongest player in this lobby. ETN is going to have to hope for another break here if they want to get back in this one. See, Nev's hitting it. We enter this final quarter here.
Nev breaks. That's just gonna need an advantage to Chifa to Perro.
And Chifa is going to get a break point on Nomad 1.
Not what you want to see in this final pick for your team.
As Higure goes down and Bubbles goes down as well. I don't think Claire has enough combo though, even with a combo reset.
Dropping right there.
Yeah, if Claire was able to hold on to their combo just a little earlier. Ooh, and Bubbles actually failing.
Luckily we have no fail.
Exactly. Without that no fail though, ETN would have taken that pick.
With Chifa to Perro, you have to be feeling confident with being on match point after taking 2 break points from ETN.
And you gotta wonder how they're going to pick. We still have Nomad 2, Nomad 3, and Nomad 4. And I don't think Chifa feels very confident on either of these maps.
You gotta go with Nomad 4 and hope they do worse.
Yep, there it is. Nomad 4.
Without being comfortable on these maps, you kind of just have to hope that you pick a map that your opponents aren't as comfortable on either.
And I have to say, they might shoot themselves in the foot with this pick, because Nomad 4 is definitely not one of those maps you try and bank on for your last point.
If I'm Chifa de Perro coming into this, and I'm not confident with Nomad 3, and we've seen Claire on bursts and streams of Nomad 2.
You have to pick Nomad 4.
Is the only pick left there. You just have to hope, pray to God that you get a stronger combo lead.
And Bubbles, the substitution, coming in, starting with terrible accuracy, will carry his team through that last pick, and he will stay in for the tech map. I think all eyes are going to be on Bubbles on this one. He sat out the Hard Rock, he sat out the DT, and he sat out the Hidden. And I'm sure Chifa's really hoping he can carry them through this Nomad pick. As we go into the last pick of this match before a potential tiebreaker.
That'll be interesting to see for the first tiebreaker of the round of 32.
As we see out the gate, ETN looking stronger on accuracy.
By a considerable margin over Bubbles.
Yeah, jumping out to a considerable early lead. It is still very early days though. And early leads mean nothing if you break after them, but... Ooh, Nev's finding the first break. That is not what they hoped, but Claire now with the accuracy advantage.
Claire finding a drop as well. Higure, only combo left.
Only combo left as Red will pull this away. Claire struggling now as we get into the tech section.
Nev finding yet another break, and so does Bubbles. Nev and Bubbles have been trading misses back and forth with each other.
And it's very surprising to see Bubbles come in for the Nomads, but not be the strongest performer on the field. If you're Chifa, and this is your showing that you're putting on. How do you feel going into your next match if you're able to get out of this with a win? I'd say I wouldn't be feeling too confident after this one.
Yeah, especially with only one player doing too consistent across all maps. In these later pools, if you have some of those stamina picks, you can pick those and try and wear Higure out.
Yeah, especially going up against these top 10 teams that have shown that they are very consistent through every pick, through not one, but both players.
Yeah. With only one player doing consistent, you gotta wonder what the other two have to do to get themselves together for these coming up matches.
As all eyes are on Higger, if he can hold, his team will move on
And
and face
Claire
bad
Brinkley-
timing. And I think that will spell it for them. I don't think Nev is too confident on this pick. Hasn't even crested 100,000 on his own yet. And his
with a
accuracy,
full reset
yeah.
on ETN, that's gonna be the map. Even if they stopped playing, too much of a lead to overcome.
Yeah, and I have to say though, for Chifa, you've won the battle, but do you think they've shown too many of their cards to be able to win many battles going on forward?
Coming into this match, round of 32, you don't really want it to go the long run because other teams can see that you have weaknesses in certain mods versus others and what types of maps you're not too comfortable with.
Yeah, and I think the biggest reveal we've seen from this match is that Chifa isn't as strong as they are on paper on Hard Rock.
I don't know if it was nerves or if they just got lucky throughout the qualifiers.
Yeah, Bubbles though, able to hold the final combo for his team into the end, but I gotta say though, not the performance we were hoping to see from Chifa.
Especially from Bubbles, that final map after coming in, not doing any of the mods, and then being subbed in for no mod, you have to hope for a better performance out of him.
Yeah, I'm sure both teams will have a lot to talk about. ETN though, showing that they're not a team that's just gonna roll over. As we have your winners of round 32, Chifa de Perro, we have Higger, Asahi KX, and Bubbles, the man, the myth, the legend, as they will go on in their next round to face Bad Time Zones, a team, in my opinion, which is probably one of the best teams in this tournament.
Bias.
I have
Chifa
no
de
clue what
Perro,
you're talking
if Bubbles can clean up his no mod, they can be a scary team with Higure being able to consistently put up good performances across the board.
Exactly, but they're going to need a strong no-mod performance if they want any chance of being able to bring a fight to the top teams. As we've seen all the top teams, single if not double FC the no-mods, putting on an absolute masterclass in those games.
Another interesting 4-2 match, but we will see you folks here in about an hour as we will have first timers facing off against the ZEV.
And first timers, another one of our top 10 teams, hoping to repeat what the other teams have shown before, which is a clean 4-0 sweep. And I'm sure we'll get to see a great match either way.
And as we look at the bracket, first timers versus ZEV will be facing the bracket's gone. Never mind.
Who needs a bracket? Should know it from memory.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you folks for coming out.